Welcome to Credit Chats, where we deep dive into the financial maze and uncover how everything from your daily coffee to your dream home impacts your credit score. I'm LeBaron, and thank you for joining us. Each episode will explore the ins and outs of personal finance, hear from experts, and answer your questions. So tune in, take notes, and transform your financial journey with us. Let's get started. Hey guys, we're back again, and we have Mariam here, who is the owner of the Broom Circle Holistic Healing, which provides herbal remedies, hosts community events, and supports local artisans stepping into business. Hey Mariam, how are you?
I am well. Thank you so much for having me today. How are you?
I'm well. We met on the blocks. So this is all of the connections that I've made on the blocks, which is an incredible camp for entrepreneurs. And we learned so much there. It blows my mind how much misinformation you get when you are an entrepreneur. But tell us about your business and what the origin of your business is.
Yeah. So my business is the Broom Circle. Hello, my name is Mariam. I own the Broom Circle for a holistic healing, and we are a sister company with our co-founder or our founder, Shay. And this is why I went onto the blocks, is to be able to explain my business. And
Right.
I learned how to do it, and then I forgot how. But
And,
really,
and
I discovered a lot about how much I didn't know, to explain about my business, and really because we're vibes. How do you
right,
describe
right.
vibes? So really just saying we host events, we do holistic healing, we do a lot of stuff, but ultimately we're just here to build community. That's what the project is about, is bringing you into the circle, being a hub.
Nice. Nice. And I can tell you from my experience at the blocks, I did not say the same thing every time they asked me what my business was about. So it's just, I kept editing and I kept editing. And it was like, by the time I was done, I might have had the right thing or what I envisioned for my business, but it kept getting edited because I kept realizing that I don't just do what I thought I did.
Mhm.
So all of that stuff was incorporated by the time I was at the end of the entrepreneur boot camp. What is the origin of your business though? And where did the name Broom Circle come from?
Thank you for asking that again, because you will need to do that. I will not remember most. Yeah, the origin really. So it was birthed from my partner Shay's original company, the Zenith Moon Co. that you will talk to learn about later on. That's our herbalist stuff. That's our sister company. So
Okay.
we are still intertwined. And so she was doing that out of her home, and then she decided that she was encouraged to have a brick and mortar. And so she had a little space, starting out with just a few shelves, and she'd been doing it for a couple of years. And whenever I met her, it was very kismet, I think is the word that we use. We met through a mutual friend. And at the time I was trying to talk to a bunch of people who had stores like this. And I kept
Mhm.
Googling stores like this. And I never found this store, but I found it through that friend who was trying to make us be friends, Shay and
Right.
I. And we had a date to hang out. I know doesn't seem like business, but this is how it happened. But we had a date to hang out, a friend date to go roller skating, and it was knowing that thing. So she ended up coming. Me and our mutual friend ended up hanging out. And so I later on went to her store, and I told her how she stood me up, and well, that's not cool. And ever since then, honestly, we've just been friends. I wanted to come in and help volunteer because I believe a lot of woo-woo stuff, and I was following the woo-woo things, and it said to just help people out and learn, and that's what I wanted to do. I learned from her, and as she started to grow her Zenith Moon Co., the Broom Circle was something that was just more not really exactly what she needed to do or what she wanted to do. I don't want to speak for her though; she says it way better, and explains her stuff way better.
Yeah. And we will talk to her on another
Yeah, it'll be
episode, but
great. Y'all are gonna love it. Y'all, I don't know who y'all is. You're gonna love. Anyway,
no, y'all,
yes, y'all. Hello.
everybody that's going to watch it,
Hello,
everybody that's going to watch
audience.
it's going to love it. There you go.
Yes. And so whenever it came to the beginning of this year, we decided instead of just only focusing on Zenith Moon, because the Broom Circle is such a beautiful thing, it's almost I adopted her baby. And since then, I didn't really want to change what it stands for, what we do in general. So the full on circle of things. Yeah, that's the origins of how at least I got here.
All right, good, good. And explain the name, the Broom Circle.
Yeah, the broom circle. I'm glad you asked me that because a lot of people are pretty off put. They see how all of our woo things and they see a broom and they're like, oh my gosh, witches.
Right.
Which is like totally fine. Whatever. Witches are welcome here. I'm not going to judge anybody. Everybody is allowed. It is the same thing for
Yeah.
no matter all religions. But broom circle specifically really goes back to our culture. For us, whenever it comes to like brooms are just a broom, like we jump the broomstick to get married on my
Mhm.
father's side. And so that's stuff that we like to include. The broom is a symbol of cleansing and protection. And then, of course, the circle, which is like bringing into the fold and like that family. And what I like to imagine is like a bunch of people's brooms laid out in a circle to create a stage for people to jump in and do their little thing, whether it be singing, dancing, having fun. And that's what we do.
Right.
We like do live
Yeah.
events and like open mics and all that to
That's
be
awesome.
vibing. So,
Yeah. And that represents connections because I think the origin of that is when we were slaves, we couldn't get married. So for us, jumping the broom symbolized us being connected to that other person. So we did it at my wedding, and it's a tradition that a lot of us kept because we want to honor our ancestors. And that's one way we can do it and show everybody that we honor our ancestors. So great. Thank you for explaining that.
yeah,
And
absolutely. It's here.
so initially, and my podcast is all about the financial aspects of entrepreneurship. So initially, how did you finance starting your business? I know you met Shay and she already had the brick and mortar, but with you, because you probably had the LLC before or corp or whatever it is, your business structure, you probably had that before. So how did you initially fund your business and what were the challenges with that?
Yeah, so actually, whenever it even comes to the LLC, like I had to get one because I was going to be taking over. And so I realized I'm like, oh, I am being thrust into entrepreneurship apparently. And then so I was just accepting. And so I was Googling, Chat GPT helps a lot. I was like, hey, this is my situation. What should I do? And so it gave me a composite list of what this is what you should do. And so whenever it came to the financial stuff, it was just more of, okay, what are all the things that I need to pay for it? I don't remember everything being that a lot of stuff wasn't too expensive, but like looking at sales license or sales tax license in your county, which apparently we don't have to do as much anymore, but in my county, but for your state and looking at all these small things. And then, okay, I need to think about taxes for, I don't know how much money is going to be made. Looking at the current money that's the place is making now. So it was really just going through and seeing a lot of lists and then taking it one task at a time, specifically with budgeting that first startup bit of the LLC. I don't even remember how much it was, honestly. It wasn't terrible. I remember it not being a terrible price. It's
Think my LLC was about 130.
yeah.
So if you go through InkFile, which is a former name of it, I think it's like busy.com or something like that now. But if you go through them, I think that's the lowest amount of fees that you're going to pay for LLC. And just keeping up with business savvy things now too. I've been following like what kind of changes have been going on with LLCs and things like that. But it's not the safe haven structure that it used to be. So we definitely have to do our research and find out like what's the best structure for us. Cause I think the whole reason for us to get into an LLC is to make sure that we're protected. Our assets are protected versus the business assets. And that line is getting more and more gray by the IRS, by us, because there are a lot of people that are not treating it as a separate entity. So yeah, just like you said, do your research where you are, make sure you pay your taxes.
Mhm.
Because regardless of what Joe and I feel about taxes, Joe fails. We
No
still have to,
taxes.
yeah, we still got to pay those taxes right now. And
Mhm.
there are ways to reduce your tax liability, but just make sure you talk to a tax professional when you do that kind of stuff. Stay out of trouble.
I like that
Yeah.
you say that too about keeping it as a set because people don't keep it as a separate entity. That is something that we do. It's just no, that is company funds. We do not pay like not no everything else. Like I will use my personal fund into the company, but things
Hmm.
don't really go the other way. And like things have
Yeah.
to all be taken care of. And then anything that we do have extra goes back into the company to help build
Right.
it. And so like really just seeing it like that is not my money. That is not my money. That is the and I see like truly as an entity, the Broom Circle. Like I'm like,
Mhm.
hey girl, what are we selling today? Oh, you don't want them over here? Okay, I can bill you, like whatever. Or she'll invite
Yeah.
certain people in. I'm like, okay, we're having a party today. So truly, that's her money. I'm not going to spend her money.
Yeah. Just like you said, making sure that it stays separate. And the right way to do that is taking an owner draw on your LLC so you can make sure you funnel it back into your personal account, but don't use your company credit card or your company debit card to pay for your personal expenses, because that's when the IRS has the right to look into your personal life once you do that.
Oh, good to
So,
know. I did not know. Yeah, I
yep.
just don't like, I know that I'll get too willy-nilly. Like, I'll get, oh, it's just one time. And then I just start swiping away. I'm like, no, I don't have enough willpower once I start. So I'm just not going to.
Good, good. So, how did your background or your personal experiences influence the development of your products and your services for Broom Circle?
So my background is straight out of high school, pretty much. I did some college while I was working, but I became an insurance agent right away.
Right.
And so I worked in auto insurance, non-standard auto insurance. People needed SR22s, getting their licenses back. And I worked my way up through the ranks there.
Hmm.
The specific company we had, it had a whole bunch of different carriers and a whole bunch of things that we did to help people specifically get their licenses back. It wasn't our job, but it was something that we took on and allowed
Okay.
because we learned the system running through Texas to
Right.
help people get their stuff back ASAP. And I went from agent to branch manager to district manager. And so going through all of those spaces and working with customers, I like just really figuring out people and then problem solving for them and then managing people. That's really all that it was. It was all these things. But
Yeah.
the main stuff that I learned from them were like strategies of dealing with people. Like a lot of times it's sales. So they want to talk about overcoming an objective or whatever, or an objection.
Right.
And so they teach you a lot of things, a lot of acronyms and all that fun stuff. They take you to lots of district meetings and all of that to really teach you how
Team
to teach
building.
for people to sell. Yeah. And so I got a lot of training. It was about a decade. Yeah. Decade of, and then I was here. I had ended up moving to Colorado because with the job. And
Okay.
I just decided I was done doing insurance. I was like, you know what? I'm making great money, but I am not, my passion is not there.
Yeah.
And I got to the point, I'm like, I think they could pay me like $1 million a day. And I don't want to be here. A million is
Yeah.
crazy. I'm getting $1 million a day. I'm doing whatever I want. After 7 days, I'm quitting the job. But yeah, it was just something I was like, I'm done. And so I stopped and started honestly being like, very, I'm gonna go work a regular job because I was a
Yeah.
teenager and let me go work a teenage job at 28 years old. It was fun. And then learning working at those places, the retail spaces, I started working at Staples after that. And then I worked in a
Hmm.
doctor's office. And then even now I like on Saturdays I go and work at a nail salon just so I can learn whatever I can learn because after I started just working those little jobs here and there, just part-time because I could. I was privileged enough to be able to just do a part-time job at the time. I learned so much just from, okay, this is how people display things in retail. There's planograms when it comes to retail and
Yeah.
multiple people sit down and talk about these displays and why this should be displayed here as opposed to here. And now I'm in
Yeah.
a space which is,
Psychology.
yeah, very much. And now I'm in a space with lots of retail with new business vendors, which that's what we
Hmm.
do. I should say that's what we do. We have vendors, local artisans, of course, and knowing where to put their stuff that works best for their product, and even just getting information, leaving those things. It's all of life is learning, and that's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
None of it works.
And something you said there was very paramount. They couldn't pay you enough to stay there because once you figure out that it's not your purpose to be there, you have a decision to make. Okay, are they paying me to give up my dreams for theirs? And there are a lot of people that are wholesaling their talents, their gifts, their abilities. And what it comes down to for any job that you get to is solving problems. And I think at the crux of every job that you get, it's okay. I'm solving problems, regardless of whether it's IT or it's insurance or it's whatever you talk about. It's solving problems that the customer has. And if you can figure out how to sell the psychology of what the problem is that you're solving, then of course you're going to be able to maximize your profit on that. But the main thing is, how are you helping people? It's great that you realized that and that you got out of there
Pretty
quickly.
much.
What was the most significant milestone in your business, and how did that change your approach?
Currently, the biggest milestone has been people coming in and being like, "Oh my gosh." I love the energy here, and
Mhm.
people just like seeing how people react to us in the space has really been the biggest thing. People come here and they really feel so comfortable. And we have customers coming in to get a massage, but then like we're doing an open mic at the time and they feel comfortable enough just like, yeah, I'm gonna hop on the mic and sing live on your live to your 10,000 followers. Like they
Nice.
they feel everybody feels like friends. Like they feel like they're a part of the community. And that's really what a big goal was. And I was like, that's what I want it to be in the long run. And it just happened to be right away that I'm seeing, oh, we're achieving this anyway. Yeah, it's on the smaller scale, but that's really what it was. It made me feel fulfilled. And that's all that I
Right,
cared for.
right.
And then everything
Good.
else works out. Money works out.
Good. Good. Yeah, because when you're not worried about it, when you're more so focused on people that you're helping, money is a byproduct of that, but it also becomes an afterthought because that's just one of the things that you have to find out. It has to be outside of money. If I wasn't getting paid for this, would I still love to do it?
Yeah.
And I can attest to the energy as well, because there were a lot of us that when we showed up on the blocks, it was like we were already friends that just hadn't met yet.
Yeah.
So I can attest to the really good vibes that you guys have, to you, Shay, and
June, oh my gosh, I'm
just
telling you, we need to get June, all four of us. Like we need to get the whole crew together.
yeah, yep. And we will. We'll schedule another session for us so we can talk about what we learned at the blocks and how it's changed us.
So much too.
I know we could
So
talk a
much.
long time
We
about
could
that.
talk at least 5 days of it, at least 5 days worth,
Yeah.
because that truly and even now, I'll just be telling people, I'm like, "You need to work on your SOP." I'm, like, using it as, like, for their personal life. SOP your life. I'm like, "You have
Yep.
no idea."
Playbook.
Truly.
Playbook that
Put a
bitch. Yeah.
playbook in place. Yeah, it was I have
Yeah.
to say
So
the connections that we made, like, you're right. It just really felt I'm like, "Oh, I know you.
yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
LB. We're just hanging out.
It
So I
was
just know
it
you."
was like comfortable too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So have you guys gotten to the place where you explore business credit? And if so, how has that impacted your ability to scale your company?
Yeah, we've seen a few things. Now we're pretty still I like small potatoes. I'd say small potatoes.
The
So we've done like
bootstrapped.
little stuff. Like we would go through Square with most of our things. And so they build up their own like kind of credit option and then eventually you can get a loan through them. And they take
Mhm.
an amount. Granted, we haven't really utilized that yet because we haven't really found the need. Once we have a budget for it, then we can decide to do a loan. That's what we
Right.
or like any type of credit. Because quite honestly, personal credit we're not gonna look at that. Like, even, like, in my family, I have a good credit score, but I have a fair credit score, and that's good for
Uh,
my family. And
oh
so,
wow.
what I've learned is that when it came to business, because I got it at an older age after messing up my own stuff or co-signing for people I shouldn't have, and we've been,
Mhm.
like, just, "Oh, no, we really have to understand why we would even want this money or need this money. Do we actually need
Right.
it? Let's do the budget. Let's break down what we're gonna do with this budget first before we even start looking at options." Because that affects even if it's just a soft check or whatever, it's everything affects. So I'm like, we're not playing around. And that's so far with business, how we've been doing it is we come together, do a budget, make it make sense first. And then
And
since then,
that's great.
it's been good.
And and just talking about like how you're saying in your family, like credit, like your credit score is probably the highest in the family. And that's just probably from trial and error, like learning that kind of stuff. Um, so one of the things that I really zero in on with my company is education when it comes to credit. So I'm not just fixing people's credit on the back end and they don't know what I'm doing and things like that anymore. Like I started off like that, but what I've realized is that when you partner with people and help them to understand like everything that's going on with their credit, they're less likely to come back to you to need credit repair, and they know what things go on with their credit. And credit is a personal thing, not only in the fact everybody's looks different, but also people are embarrassed by it because we didn't come up learning this stuff. So the thing that I like to do is more so help people understand credit and, how things function versus making them feel bad for stuff that's happened to them. So yeah, I've switched my business model and I don't know if it's all attributed to the blocks, but it helped me to focus on the thing that I love to do, which is teaching. So I've always been a teacher and I love to educate people on things like that. So being able to incorporate that into what I've already established this company to be doing and then help people to understand that is one of the things that this podcast is also made to do as well. So yeah, thank you for being open and honest about credit and stuff like that. But so your industry relies on word of mouth and trust. And how do you balance investing in marketing and maintaining a healthy cash flow when it comes to that?
When it comes to marketing, there's like a lot of Facebook ads or whatever. Like we do some micro ads sponsoring things, but so far when it actual marketing, we do like we beat the streets type of stuff. Like here's a flyer, here's who I am, because, and then what we've been doing is that long form stuff going live
Mhm.
and doing that for an hour. We take that and cut it into smaller pieces and display that over other things. We just popped up our YouTube channel. So we'll have like mid link stuff for to find people where we can to really let them know, hey, this is who we are. If you like us, you coming out.
Tell us where you are.
Yes,
Tell us
hello.
where.
We're in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Okay. Shout out your address just so people know
One
where it
one
is.
112 Iowa Avenue, Suite 1. Oh yeah, come on down. Yeah, that's what we currently do for marketing. Is like saying, hey, and then even just reminding somebody to let someone else know about us is what we do. But what we have been doing is building ideas for our commercials because we have connects like that. Like I have some filmmaker friends and whatnot. So what we'll do is we'll just have, they like doing it. So we'll pop a commercial up and we're going to do a little cute, little funny commercial. Who knows when? Maybe never, but that's the idea of to get it between other things. These are all free things that we can do. And so really what
Yeah.
we can do is see how free we can market. It helps
Right.
because I did a lot of marketing for insurance. It started out as this pretty small insurance company before it got bought out. So we would walk down the road and be like, here's our cards. If you need a quote, we're going to go to the laundromat. We're going to print out. And then whenever we did have customers, we would write them postcards and all of that. So like marketing, retention, and then also telling people to send people over. All of that was stuff that I did just in insurance. So I was like, oh, I could do that here too.
Right. And a lot of those things that we learn from being employed by other people, we don't think it is transferable to our business because we're like, we're too small to be doing that kind of stuff. But another thing we learned at the blocks was like that stuff is what keeps people talking about you.
Mhm.
So for you to make sure you have your niche down and then you provide them the best customer service, they're going to be almost your employees forever because they're going to be telling people about you.
Yeah.
So that's like the bootstrap type of stuff that you can do. And also another thing that you can do as well is you can use AI. And I know you said you got Chat GPT and things like that, but you can use AI to make commercials as well. And they'll make commercials for you. You can take stills and make a move. So it's
We're gonna have to do that. I love AI. So yes, Shay's gonna be
yeah.
happy to hear that too.
Yeah, so I'll let you guys know like how I've done some of that stuff and I'll send you some stuff, right?
Thank you.
And it's really good. There's a community that I'm part of that's called Deeper Than the Brand, but they tell you everything from A to Z when it comes to AI. And the main person that's there is named Nikki Saunders, but she really every time something comes out, she's got a video that shows you how to do it. And then they have an AI challenge that they put out for free. And I finished the AI challenge and it was like, it's really mind blowing the kind of stuff you can do when you have all these people that are saying, oh, AI is going to take people's jobs, going to take people's jobs. But in the same instance, those are the people that get left behind. So if you harness the power of AI, it's just a tool. It's going to make you more efficient. It's like all of those people that had manual screwdrivers that didn't want to use power drills, they weren't efficient anymore.
Yeah.
So using that stuff, it actually creates more jobs than it takes because bless you. There
Yeah.
are people that use this stuff and they need people to almost, what is it, QA to make sure
Mhm.
it's doing the right things.
Yeah.
So if you can be the person that knows how to make it tick, then you're going to have a job forever.
Truly, especially whenever we're gonna be talking about AI now. But a lot of people, like especially like in our industry, in the film industry area, a lot of people are afraid of or not even afraid, but frustrated with AI when they often say, I wanted to do this and not my art. And I'm like, I think that a little bit it comes down to ability. And when it comes down to it, some people can do art in that way. Some people can't move their bodies. So talking to an AI to create an image that's in their head, these are all things that we can do. We all just want to, AI is empowering the growth of people so we can create more and innovate more. And so I'm gladly like, oh yes, AI. Hello, AI. What do you want to be called? Because the more and what we teach it, like I talk about it about woo stuff. I'm like, hey, what's going on with the transits today? And then also what's best for the human soul and chakras and all of that. And so it's
Right.
talking about chakra work and like all the things that we put into it is what we get to learn from. And so I love AI. I really
And
do.
it breaks it down. It breaks
It
it down
does.
to a digestible size. And I know you were saying we're talking about AI now, but it's related to finance because it makes us more efficient. That's something we don't have to go pay for anymore. We can do it ourselves. And also we can outsource it to something that's better at it than us for free. So for us to be able to harness that kind of thing just makes it that much better for us entrepreneurs to to be just as good as the other people out there who have to spend a lot of money doing it.
Yeah. Or
So,
even who had the time and education to do it. And we may not have had those same resources. It just is
right.
how it is. It just evens the playing field. I feel like it's equity more than anything. Not everybody knows how to talk to AI though.
Oh
I've
yeah,
had other people like
those
go in
prompts.
there and they're like, I can't get anything out of this. I'm like, yeah, you got to finesse it. There is stuff to
Yeah,
it in order to actually
yeah,
get it to work properly. You can't just use your drill as a hammer. You can, but it's
right.
not going to be as efficient.
It's not as efficient. Yeah, and it was the same way when Google came out for searching. You had to understand the language to search, just
I
like
remember
now you
putting
have to understand.
pluses in there. There was an actual code.
Yeah, yep. And for you to learn that and navigate that is it doesn't take you long to figure that kind of stuff out. You just can't be afraid of it. So yeah, that's awesome. Can you share an experience where good credit helped you seize an opportunity or overcome a hurdle in your business?
And
And
I'll
it
use
doesn't have to be
I'll
your
use
credit
credit.
either.
Like the credits that we have are based off of what we do. So there are times whenever we're like hosting things. So
Mhm.
even just recently, our credit based off of our lives, we are now hosting a pride event because they saw our live and we have a whole roster of people who are going to be on our live now because we love the energy that y'all provided when you were hosting your spot. So can you please host ours and this is for people who are disabled who are also wanting to do pride, but they're not in the streets right now. Some people just want to be at home and still
Right,
celebrate. And
right.
so that's what we're doing. We're having a good time. And that alone, like when people come, Colorado Springs is a tourist town. And so when people come, like people are, oh yeah, I was just in Kansas or I'm from Illinois and I saw you on TikTok or whatever. And so now we're here. And so
Mhm.
they'll buy a trinket. And then whenever they come by again, or a year or two later, or a year later, then it's some good stuff. Like people just still remember us as being a vibe. We have vibe credits. Okay.
All
Perfect
right.
score.
Yep. And I've been to Colorado Springs as well. I used to work for the government for a while, so went to NORAD, NORCOM, and like just all of that stuff. Working for the government is amazing anyway, just like how great and how terrible it can be. So it's really, and when I came there, I saw the modular house. I had never seen a modular house
Mhm.
before getting there. I think that was the first place that I saw modular houses. And of course, I grew up in the South, which is, I was in South Carolina, North Carolina, and we don't ski there.
That's
So
true.
coming to Colorado Springs, it was a culture shock, but at the same time, I've been traveling a whole lot when it came to finance. And I don't know, with my background, I have an accounting degree, which I'm working in IT now, but to see how the stuff comes full circle to where I'm like, I just picked,
Yeah.
I picked accounting so I could get out of school.
Mhm.
And for that to be exactly where I land now, it's like
It's like
divine.
you knew somehow, like your soul knew or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I was getting guided. And I feel like that. I feel like that for a lot of things in my life anyway, because there have been strategic things that have happened. And it was like there was no other choice I could make.
Mhm.
Other than it's like a no-brainer. Either go to this school and you pay tens of thousands of dollars or go to this one for free. It's who wants to
Fun.
go to a school where I have to pay
Yes.
when I don't have to pay at this other school?
Yep.
And I ended up being at HBCU and I learned a lot more about my culture And yeah, it's been a lot of things like that. But yeah, just for the last question we have here, is there any financial advice you would give to an aspiring entrepreneur in the holistic healing and herbal remedies industry that you wish you would have known earlier?
I'll just say this thing because I think it's a good saying is that I think it's more of a Bible verse, but the first fruits of your labor should go to God, I think is what they say. And so I think whenever you are doing your first fruits of your labor, as opposed to if you have profit in your company, as opposed to spending that on yourself, it's important for you to put that back into your company, even if it
Hmm.
really feels like it's a nice little chunk and it feels like it could really do good for you personally. If you're doing okay personally, then put it back into your company first and do it with the knowledge from what you got while building that profit, all
Right.
the things that you learned. So then you're really multiplying that experience. And I see that as giving that to the divine by saying, hey, I believe in my purpose. I believe in what I'm doing. And whether you want to call it money magic or whatever you want to, but it is just what it is. It's good financial advice to just go and use your money for your business until it
Right.
really makes sense. Like you pay your employees on time. You have to
Hmm.
make sure that everything is perfection before you ever even start trying to pay yourself. Because if you're not paying your bills on time, if you're not, you don't have a system in place for that, then that's what you need to be focusing on. But pay your business.
And also give yourself grace too. Cause I mean, and a lot of people get hung up on the first fruits and the Bible
Yeah.
and things like they get guilted into giving it to whatever entity that you may talk about. But when you go back to biblical times, the first fruits was crops.
Mhm.
So if you give the first fruits of your labor, that could even mean time. So, okay, the first hour I get up, of course, I give it to God. And then the next hour, I can do something to move my business forward. And that can be a first fruit for me. But it's also what you feel in your spirit that is the right thing for you to do. Because if it resonates with you, then cool, do it. If you feel funny about giving money, then that may not be for you to do right then. So if you want to sow your money back into your business, then that may be what the divide is having you to do so that you can move forward. Because the more money you make in your business, the more people you can help. And if that's the end goal, then you have to be okay with doing that.
Absolutely. I love that saying, giving yourself grace, because that's a big part of it too, as a business owner in general. We are all going through seasons. Every single day is a new season and
Right.
understanding yourself. And like, you know what? Today I am going to do absolutely nothing and I'm going to
And
just
there are days.
sleep on it and see what
Yeah,
I end up deciding tomorrow or whatever. But giving yourself grace, even with those financial decisions, even if you've made a whole bunch of bad ones, you can always start with, oh, you know what? That wasn't as bad. And that's good.
and prioritizing rest is another one like we as entrepreneurs don't do because of the culture. The culture of us is, oh, I'm on the grind, I'm on the grind.
Mhm.
And even though that's toxic, like you weren't meant to work 24/7. That there was no such thing as money back in the day and they still made it. It's
All
like,
they cared
okay,
about was
well,
food, and they're like, "Oh, we got food coming. That's it." And we're
food,
relaxing.
water. Yep.
We watered the plants. Okay, good. Like, chill. And that's what
Right.
I think a lot of us, especially like in our culture, it's hard to a lot of times we're just trying to be useful. But
Yeah.
we are already perfect and plenty of things to ourselves, and we are
Absolutely.
enough. We are enough. Mhm.
Yep. That's the quote I start every day with. So I have 4 things that I say every day, and it's God is enough. And that's because we sometimes don't believe that God can fix our mess. We're so messed up that he can't fix this.
Mhm.
God is enough to take on anything that you have. I am enough because there's nothing else that you need outside of yourself. There is enough means that there's abundance everywhere. You can just look
Run.
at how much at people still building. We're in a recession and you will still see buildings going up. So there is enough for everybody, and you don't have to step on anybody or backbite or try to get anything underhanded. What's for you, you're going to have. And
Period.
then, so God is enough, I am enough, there is enough, and I have enough. Because if you don't feel like you have enough, then you're always going to be in that scarcity mindset.
Mm.
So that's what I like to say. But
Especially if
the last,
there is
go
enough.
ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. But especially with the there is enough. That's something that we're in a holistic healing space and there's lots of holistic people. And sometimes they're like almost, oh, you're doing the same thing. I'm like, but we're different people. We're never going to provide the exact same thing. We could be doing almost everything parallel, but we're just not the same person. We're not
Right.
standing in the same spot and it's different air around us. There's truly enough space for everyone's dreams to come true.
Yep. And your clientele is going to come to you because of you, not because of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And there's a person I follow, a really good person. His name is Julian Gordon, but he says a lot of good things. Like he has a book out and things like that. And the crux of it is making sure that you understand everything that you do is inside, everything that you need is inside of you. And I know we talked about this as far as like the questionnaire, but what is a quick win that you think that the viewers are going to get? Because I know you said you're dreamers turn doers, and what does that mean?
Thank you for reminding what I said.
Everyone will be that. We said we're dreamers turn doers, and everyone will be that once they find what makes them the most fulfilled.
A good win for me is just really seeing that I have many other dreams to come true. That wasn't necessarily a dream, but it's on the way to dreams or whatever. But a good win is just like really trusting your intuition and yourself, like listening to yourself, like not just like the eyes in our head. We got things, a lot of voices that have been put in our heads. And so whenever I think about it, I think about talking to myself like a little kid all the time. Oh, you know what? You did it. You're doing it. Because we wouldn't turn to a kid and crush their dream and be like, you know what? You're not making enough money. You're not doing enough. Like we would never do
Right.
that. So like really seeing how we can do that with ourselves and learning how to play in life again. Because dang, we take stuff so seriously. Like things are serious. Yes. But like finding light in things is the most important thing to actually dreaming. Because
Right.
whenever we're actually having fun and like bringing joy to ourselves, that's usually whenever the thing that we're supposed to be doing. So there's
Right.
4 things that I like to do and ask my questions to. Is this something that I'm good at? Is this something that I love to do? Is this something that I'm good at? Is this something that the world needs? And can I make money from it? And money is the last thing on there because like all this other stuff matters so much more. My love
Yeah.
matters first, my ability, and then the world. And so really going back to those things, we will find our purpose. Everybody will find their purpose, whatever it is. If nothing is too small.
Thank you so much. Is there any final thoughts you want to leave, or?
I like everything that you're doing. I appreciate everything that you're doing, honestly. The way that you are teaching people and educating people about credit, it's not just something for their lives. Like those people are going to have kids and they're going to teach their kids. And then those kids, like you're helping a lot of people and generations to do better. And so they're not going to get caught up in the same stuff that we got caught up into. And so thank you for doing that. And
Thank you for
having
doing what
me.
you do. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for doing what you do, because I know a lot of things hampers on the feelings that we have. And if you can tap into the feelings of being rich, or the feelings of whatever that thing that makes you happy,
Mhm.
then you can essentially make that happen over and over for you.
True.
So thank you for what you and Shay does.
Thanks.
And and that's it, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Were you about to leave without hitting that like and subscribe button? I mean, you'll be back, right? So why not save yourself the hassle and just do it now? It's like putting your keys by the door, or packing your lunch, or packing 3 days before your flight and not the night of. It just makes life easier. Oh wait, did you just do it? I knew you had it in you. I appreciate that. See you next time. Same place, same channel. And remember, everything you need is inside of you.